Man, oh man. Second time I fucked it up.
You always fuck it up. You suck.
What's up, everybody? It's Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as Facebook. With your host, Alex, and
Forever Young.
Today's film is
Maniac 2012.
Maniac 2012 is about a owner of a mannequin shop who develops a dangerous obsession with a young girl. Wow! They were right on point. Directed by Frank Calhoun. Written by Alexandre Aja and Gregory Lavassier.
Aja like the band.
Yes. He gets taked on a lot. Starring Elijah Wood. Better known as... Better known as...
Frodo.
Yeah. Also, America Olivo. Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not her. Who went to... Oh, Nora Arnazeder. Fuck me with these fucking pronunciations. Anyway, the film is a POV take on the original 1980 film, which starred a bunch of weirdos. It's about... I'm like on drugs with this episode. What's going on?
I don't know. Are you on drugs? Did you take drugs?
I did. You hear that sound effect? That's me taking drugs.
Oh my god, that's a lot of drugs.
But anyway, how do we set up this film? It's POV, right? It's
kind of like Peeping Tom meets Love Object.
Yeah, you're right. I guess
inspired by Peeping Tom.
Yeah, I guess Love Object really took from the... No, wait a minute. Yeah, Love Object must have really taken from Maniac, the original one, I guess.
I mean, you know, I'm sure that, like, they wrote their own thing, but it's hard not to take from something, but this movie was definitely inspired by Peeping Tom, like, I have no doubt of it.
Let me get into the original Maniac, which is from 1980.
Which I didn't see. Alex has seen it.
I've seen parts of it. I haven't really seen the whole film. The original film basically is about the same guy, Frank, who... He's not really Does he own a mannequin store? Who knows? Anyway, Frank does not...
Why have to be puppets like Frank?
Frank is not as handsome as the original... As Elijah Wood is in this version. Frank is a 40-year-old pot-bellied guy with thinning hair and mustache.
Do you think Elijah Wood is handsome? Let's have a poll. Who thinks Elijah Wood is handsome or creepy?
I think he's handsome enough. Right? You don't think so?
I think he's... I don't know. He's weird looking.
When he would be like, Sam!
His eyes are big and his nose is too skinny.
I bet you there's a lot of girls that would fuck for Elijah Wood, and I don't think because they like Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, most girls don't get Lord of the Rings. I'm joking. That's not true at all.
What a sexist. Hey, feminists, do you hear this guy?
No, actually, most of my friends who are girls love it, so, yeah.
Speaking of, Danny wants this episode quick because he's at his friend's house, and he'd rather do that. So,
shut up.
Maniac 2012 is a POV remake of the original one where Frank, the original version, Frank was...
The original isn't as point of view, E?
No, it's not. I think there were sequences of it, but there was a lot of him killing people. He didn't just kill women. In this version, he's killing a lot of women. The original one, he's killing, is indiscriminate. Well, it was mostly women, but still.
He's actually the truest feminist. He gives equal opportunity.
Yeah, because he kills like a couple on the beach. But he's basically doing the same thing. He's scalping these people and putting their hair on top of a.
He's very much inspired by Native Americans.
The original one is mostly known because of the original. Why do I not know the original fucking actor in the fucking?
Why don't you talk?
Movie?
Why don't you try talking?
What?
Why don't you just try saying a word?
So Joe Spinelli, that's the guy. Joe Spinell played the original Frank in the original film. He actually
wrote it.
He wanted to make a sequel, but he died of a heart attack. Actually, no, he died of. What happened was that he's a hemophiliac, and he cut his foot, and he fell asleep and bled to death. That's how he died. Real? Yeah.
Wow.
That's how he died, which is pretty fucking.
You know who else is a hemophiliac? A fucking loser like Joe Spinell.
Boy, oh boy, you sure don't cut those things, do you, huh? Did I say that right? So anyway...
What things?
I don't know. That's why I just didn't ask if I did it right. So anyway, this version, let's just get into this version. This POV remake, it's very slick. It's very French horror film. Alexandre Aja obviously is from the remake of The Hills Have Eyes, which I thought was really underrated. It's a fucking awesome movie. He also did the original French film... Oh God, what is that French film that we saw? We did it for French Horror Month.
The one with the baby living in him?
No. With the short-haired girl who was crazy.
Oh, High Tension?
High Tension. He directed that one, so he knows his shit. He also did Piranha 3D, which is better than it should have been.
I just saw Piranha Double D yesterday.
Yikes! I'm sorry about that, Danny.
Ving Rhames is in it. Christopher Lloyd.
How did he
is in
survive?
it,
How did he
Hasselhoff
survive the
plays
original?
himself.
How did Ving Rhames survive the original Piranha?
I don't fucking. That doesn't matter. He doesn't have legs.
Oh.
And one of his legs is a gun.
Is it like the girl from Grindhouse?
It's incredibly stupid. It was painful to watch.
Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty bad.
I have a friend who only watches bad horror movies. That's like her thing, and so anytime we hang out, we watch a really bad one.
She sounds like she needs therapy.
She does.
So in this version, it's POV. It's kind of like it's got a good budget, right? I'd say it's slick.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
it's
slick
well
looking.
shot.
It's very clean. It has a nice.
Sometimes the sound quality annoys me.
It has a very 80s synth score.
Yeah, it plays a song from Buffalo Bill.
Yes, yeah, and a sex scene, and it's very. I don't want to say it's sanitized because the gore is pretty fucking. It's pretty evident in this film. There's a lot of gore in this film,
Yeah.
and Elijah Wood. You see him about 25% of the film. Whenever the character is looking at a mirror or something like that.
Our reflection.
It's got to be very hard to do because we just did that VHS 2, which was all POV kind of film. And I gotta say,
this is a shaky cam, at least.
Yeah, it's gotta be
make you nauseous.
It's gotta be very hard to to make something fresh or keep something fresh. I guess after 10 minutes of POV, right?
Yeah.
And this film, I guess, does it. I mean, the film is not fantastic, not the greatest movie, but it's fun watching. It's what it feels like. It feels like you're watching somebody play like a PS3 game.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're watching somebody playing Call of Duty Kill Girls Edition or something like that. It just seems
the
like
scalp
that.
edition.
Yeah, but it's not boring, right? How easy do the scalps come off in this film? Because he has this.
Yeah, they come off really easily.
They come off like pizza or something like that.
The first one he does, he just makes a little cut, and then her own weight just pulls it right off.
And she didn't seem like a girl that weighed a lot. The first scene is this girl coming out of his club, and she, typical assholes picking up on her and trying to pick her up. She goes home. He turns off the lights. He stabs her right through the bottom of her jaw. I remember when they first released.
That was a great scene.
When they released the first, beating off to it, the first 6 minutes of the film when they released it online, I was like, holy shit, because it just cut off after he stabs her under the jaw. But in this version,
it's so sudden, you know.
Yeah, it keeps going on, and you see him pull the thing from the bottom of her jaw, and she's bleeding to death. Oh, she's already dead, and it's bleeding.
And the fucking
can that kill you though?
Look really nasty.
It didn't seem like that would kill somebody if it stabs him. I guess if it goes through the brain,
Of course
but
it would kill them.
Under the jaw, into the palate of the mouth. It don't seem so. It didn't seem the
It was
knife
a
was
long knife. It probably went right into her brain.
And he just slices her top of her head. Fucking wig. It turns into the wig, and he's putting it on mannequins. Basically, Frank is a fucking weirdo. He's a psychopath, and he's going around. Maybe, I don't know. It kind of maybe has that. Second, it's basically vignettes of day by day of this guy's existence and flashbacks. Do you think seeing your parents your mom fucking somebody would really fuck up your life this bad?
Well, it seems like all serial killers in all these movies and in real life had something like that.
Yeah, I remember watching Ed Gein on TV. They had some biography about him, and I guess he was a real mama's boy, like Buster Bluth.
Okay.
And he once
he was
died,
like,
he
I
went
think
berserk.
he was like partially retarded. I read once.
He looked like it, yeah.
And like he only killed like 3 people or something. And
I think it was 2 people.
I think they based kind of like Sling Blade, that movie Sling Blade, on him.
Well, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was based on him.
But he wasn't that type of a guy.
Right. He just
like a violent. I mean, he's violent. But
he didn't even kill the woman with a chainsaw. He shot the old lady.
He was just like an introverted, weird guy. He wasn't like chasing people around and shit. You know?
Right. He wasn't as cool as Matthew McConaughey with
Buffalo
his robot
Bill
leg.
is based on him and Albert Fish, and
yeah, I think what it is, they romanticize the idea of him and being this kind of creep in the middle Midwest.
He's got his charms.
Does he? What was it? The line from American Psycho when he's recounting he goes, whenever I see a beautiful woman, I was like, I want to know, what is it? How is she on a date and how her head looks like on a stick or some shit like that?
Yeah. That's what Albert Fish says, or how Ed Gein says.
Ed Gein. Albert Fish didn't give a shit about women.
Albert Fish's fucking letter to his the victim's mom.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It makes you wonder why, like, were there no? I guess he just must have put the letters in the people's boxes. Like he didn't obviously have a return address. Did they just let letters go through without return addresses?
Long before like the forensics that we have now.
They didn't give a shit about return addresses.
This is like the early 1900s.
Did I say there? Just send this letter through. It's got blood on it, but who cares? And they'll just send it right through. Hey there, sicko.
What is this red stuff? It could be blood. It could be syrup.
You look like a psychopath, but whatever. We'll send it right through. Ugh, my English accent. All right. So anyway, how would you describe Frank's how he acts? And
he kind of reminds me of this guy that I'm no longer friends with. Like he's just like this like needy.
Is it the same guy that I'm not friends with?
No.
Okay.
No. What's he called? No, he's like this like creepy, needy guy who doesn't understand what he's doing is wrong. He's completely schizophrenic, and he thinks that these mannequins are like his mom or something. Like it's weird.
All these, I think what it is, he gets bouts of, what would you say, like panic attacks,
split personality. I don't think it's a panic attack or a migraine.
You think it's a split personality?
He knows he's about to kill because he's talking to his bad side personality, saying he hates it. It's kind of like Gollum.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a realistic version of Gollum.
I took it more of as like a physical migraine pain. Like he's just like the poison can't get out of him, and that's the only way he can control it. These attacks.
Like Susanna from Dark Tower, maybe. Like when she's about to go crazy, she gets migraines.
And he's very introverted, very shy, and the way he acts, you just like. If you really like spoke to this guy in real life, you'd be like, well,
yeah, but he goes on a dating site and finds a really hot tattoo chick. I mean, I can't do that, and I'm like not nearly as weird as this guy.
Have you tried?
No, but
so you can
I feel I'm not good with that kind of stuff.
You think she's hot? She's all right.
She's pretty hot.
All the chicks that get naked in this movie are like over 30 years old, like 40 or something. Not there's anything wrong with that. Maybe it sound really shallow.
Super hot.
She kind of looks like Hollywood old though. You know what I mean? Like she kind of.
Yeah, but that's like attractive.
So she's kind of, I could understand. She's like this punker girl.
You would have sex with her.
Of course I would, because I don't care about it.
If she wanted to have sex with you, you would not hesitate. Give me a break.
Of course not. I have no feelings toward anybody. So she's this tatted up girl.
She's a megalomaniac.
She seemed very sweet, you know, and then she wants to fuck this guy because she was expecting a fat guy with long hair. So maybe it was me she was thinking. But so she sees, she's having a little. I've got to be honest. When they had this whole scene, I was like, oh no, why they gotta? You know, what I mean, I was worried that we really have to live through his life and hear bullshit of other characters talking. And I was like, oh no, I forget this is a kind of movie that has to have some sort of plot to it and not just strings of murders.
Right.
Although,
I think it was handled well.
Yeah, I think so too. I think what they were doing was trying to give her some personality, that she is a sweet girl, but she's not in the movie very long. She's in the movie for like probably 8 minutes or something, and she decides to like bang him on the first date, and I'm like, wow, you know what I mean? Let's talk about the dating scene. Has that ever happened to you, where you just bang it on the first date, or you just like, whoa?
No, I'm not even like that type of person. I think I wouldn't even know how to get a person like that.
That happened to me once. That was very strange because you're like, what's going on? Yeah. Anyway, so he has this freak out moment with her before he has his first psycho attack, and he sees everybody staring at him, or he feels that everybody's staring at him.
Yeah, at the restaurant.
It's an interesting scene, and it's an interesting take. It's very.
It's like a panic attack, basically, except his panic attack consists of seeing blood come out of people and weird shit. It's
very art house. I mean, he strangles her to death, and all the death scenes are really done well.
Did you see that thumbprint in her neck?
Yeah. It's her face. It's all digital though. Everything looks so digital in this film. The deaths, the murders, and everything are really obvious CG, but it's not offensive.
The scalping wasn't digital, was it?
Partially.
It looked so good.
Yeah, but you can see how everything is putting through grade like digital effects and stuff like that. And he ends up meeting this artist girl named Hannah. Was it Hannah or Anna?
Anna, I think.
She's so pretty, right? French actress.
Yeah, she is.
They picked a very good lead girl for this film. She's very pretty, and basically what we're doing is watching his growing obsession with her. But he's very weird in that. How did you think his voice acting was in the film?
Well, it's like very like theater like monologues.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could picture a guy on a stage looking at people, but it makes it creepier for that, you know?
Yeah, his voice. I like his voice.
He's like thinking out loud, kind of.
Yeah, his voice is pretty cool. It's funny because he uses the real psychopath voice in the beginning when he's stalking that first girl, but then he talks normal throughout the film. So it's like, what happened? But Hannah's a very interesting character.
It's Anna. It is Anna.
I'm sorry, Anna. Anna's an artist who she meets him one day because he owns a mannequin factory, I guess, or a mannequin company where he just builds mannequins.
Families, and I guess they left.
Right. And she.
If his mom owned a mannequin company, why does she need to be a prostitute?
I don't think she was a prostitute. I think she was like fucking.
Okay.
This is separate. There's a difference. I was gonna say something really awful.
She doesn't accept money for it.
Right. Well, anyway. So yeah, Anna is a photographer, and she has this series where she's taking photographs of these mannequins, and she asks, Elijah Wood's character if she can incorporate it into her series. And he's like, okay, so that's kind of where the genesis of their relationships come through. And anyway, so it's basically cutting back and forth between him killing people and him having interactions with Hannah.
I just got the Sonic the Hedgehog song in my head when you said Genesis.
Sing up like that. So he, you know what they said? They said that they said the game Sonic and Knuckles, which I think was Sonic 3, that Michael Jackson was the guy that actually made all the music for that game.
Is that real?
I don't know, but that's the
He would
theory.
love to have that subtle interaction with the kids playing.
I'll be.
You probably, if you would listen to it in reverse, you hear like all this perverted shit. Like he's like saying dirty things, and like there's like a constant backbeat, like you're ignorant.
He's really like, I got tails in my pants. Why don't you try to grab them?
Oh, I dropped something.
So anyway, there's a whole sequence where he's chasing this dancer around, killing her. And this movie it made me understand how scary it is to be a woman. Did you get that vibe? It's like...
We've seen so many movies with guys killing girls. If I was a woman, I'd be offended, honestly.
I understand.
I get it.
Because I could understand nowadays, like, we're online, because Tumblr is there's a lot of, like, feminism stuff, and some of you are like, oh, God, this is taking a little bit too much. But I can understand seeing a movie and actually kind of being frightened.
Yeah.
By some shit, because this movie makes, even if you're like a guy watching this, I mean, I'm sure there's certain fucking people that are Neanderthals that are watching this going, yeah, kill everybody.
Yeah, no,
but this film actually made me go, holy fuck! Like, imagine being a woman in a large city walking around at night.
Something like this, I could understand when feminists would get angry. It's when I get sometimes they take things really far, and I don't understand. I have friends on Facebook that like sometimes I'll read their posts like, what the hell are they talking about?
Like everything's a rape.
They're just like pulling like a whole meaning out of something so innocent.
I remember reading
I find it so innocent. I don't know.
I was reading something on Huffington Post where this woman, this guy tried to carjack her and her kids. Oh, he had a knife to her kid's throat. So what she did is I think she fought him off. She grabbed the knife and then she got stabbed a little bit. She kicked him out of the car and she ran him over with her car. And then somebody on Huffington Post, right? Yeah, very good. And somebody on Huffington Post said, "Yeah, man, feminism. Why are you taking feminism and not?" And I'm like, feminism?
Yeah.
How the fuck is this feminism? Like, it's justice.
Your child.
How the fuck does that got to do? And it's just like, shut up. And then now everybody's
both sides are anybody that is extremely against anything is probably wrong, unless it's something like really obvious,
And it's weird because I'm sure there's a lot of we do have a lot of women that listen to our show, so I wonder if they think
hi ladies,
we're cretins or something like that. But this film definitely, if you're a woman watching this, it's gonna just double your paranoia about everything. And the film,
anytime you see Elijah Wood, you'll run.
You're getting scared, but it's very. It feels dirty, and it is exploitative. There's no question about it because, and the thing is, they have lesser of a body count in this one than they do in the original, and the original had a lot more.
I'm sure this is much more well done.
Yeah, budget wise, yeah, but there were murders in the original one that were way more. Like, you remember them better than you do this one. You know what I mean? Like, you saw the shotgun, right? Scene.
Yeah.
And that one I remember because, like, holy shit, why wasn't it in this version? You know what I mean? It was like, why? But I guess
it doesn't make sense for this type of guy to be running at a car with a shotgun.
Yeah, this is the hipster version of a serial killer.
This is like emo killer.
And But what did you think of the POV? You think the POV was done well? Did you like the interactions of the characters?
I think it was done really well. Like there was no point where it was boring me.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we're saying it like, oh, I said it was
you
like
see little
watching
glimpses of his face and like random mirrors and shit. It's cool.
Yeah, apparently the way they did is that they had one camera. The camera woman was basically him. Yeah. I think it was a camera woman that was playing. It was a camera woman, camera guy, whatever. But Elijah Wood would stand behind them, and whenever it called for it, he would move his hands into frame, and they had to do all this.
He grabbed the boob at one scene.
They had to do all this They had to do all this complicated maneuvering and.
What do you think of tattoos on boobs like that? Like they were like framing the boobs a little.
Which tattoo? Oh, her? They're all right. I'm not too crazy. I kind
of like it.
You know what? With tattoos make
I go both ways on it.
I bet. You know what tattoos drive me nuts?
What?
Is the tattoos when the girls have tattoos on their actual nipples.
Oh yeah,
I think it's an abomination. Like there's like girls that are actually hot and then they'll have like star tattoos on their nipples, so like the nipple looks like destroyed. Like, and I'm like, why? Why'd you do that? Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry to anybody that listens to it.
In my opinion, the tattoo should not go directly on the boob or on the butt or on the inner thigh, because you're taking away from what's already there. God gave you a tattoo right there already.
That you're going against women's beliefs, Daddy.
God gave you the best tattoo you could ever have, right between your legs.
That is your sexual man taking over patriarchy, taking over the world. You fuck.
No, I'm saying
you're promoting rape culture.
A tattoo in your dick or your balls or your ass. Girls want to look at those things.
You're promoting rape culture. How dare you? So anyway, I think. What did you think about Anna or Hannah? God damn it, Anna.
What about her?
Her boyfriend coming in. They made him a super asshole, which was pretty easy. They couldn't make him a nice guy, and you're waiting for him.
I like the scene where he wiped his hands on him.
Yeah,
I was hoping that guy was gonna die, but no.
Yeah, but they do that. There's a lot of things like that where they just won't kill the guy. There was like
he killed the girl that I wanted to die. The fucking bitchy woman that her agent or whatever.
The art lady, yeah.
Yeah, that woman was like, oh, the second I saw her, I was like, kill her. She's a bitch. And then like they didn't kill the guy though, because he can't kill the guy because he's a pussy.
They killed that other guy, the gay Spanish guy with a meat cleaver to the mouth.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Well, he didn't even die from that.
Yeah, he came back and attacked them, and he fucked them up even more. But
he might not even be dead. He got thrown through a door, but that doesn't mean he's dead.
Yeah, I think that would just shock you. The joke was obviously that he was going to a commercial for teeth, so he made his mouth even bigger with the fucking plate.
But now he's like the Joker. He can tell stories about it.
He's all man of my word, whatever he says.
And then that Pink song. Oh, I hate that song.
What Pink song?
The Razor Glass, and at one point she says, "Oh, it makes me cringe every time. Why so serious?" But like,
oh right, yeah.
I don't know why. Like, makes me cringe.
I like how they use that German film, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, I think it is. Yeah. Which is a really.
And they threw him in it. Yeah, that was.
They spoiled the ending of that movie. Watch that movie before you see this movie. Just for seeing how awesome German expressionism.
So are they saying that this was made when that movie came out?
No. What are you talking about? No.
Well, no, I was a little confused. I mean, I know it was supposed to take place in modern times, but why would?
No. There's a lot of retro theaters. A lot of retro.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, there's some deep in Manhattan, but there's a lot in Los Angeles. You know the TCM, which is the Turner Classic Movies. They'll let you know when theaters are playing old school films like from the 40s or whatever. Even silent films. There's a lot of theater, but this is what makes me sick.
Do they have like live orchestras and shit?
Some places do. They actually have a live piano guy play over silent films. But then you look like they were interviewing the people that go watch it, and there were these fucking assholes with bowler hats, and you're like, get the fuck out of here. It's like you watch it and then you wish the ending of Inglourious Bastards happens in that theater with all those people. But I liked obviously the film that they were referencing, the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. There's a guy called Somnambulist who's this creature who can't sleep, and he carries off this woman, and he's trying to whatever. And that movie has an awesome twist. I think it's probably the first twist ending in any film ever. I think it was Fritz Lang, the guy who did Metropolis, and they ruined that ending here. But anyway, same thing. It's a parallel between Elijah Wood's Frank carrying off this girl into the darkness, and it's very interesting. But what I don't understand is what they do in fucking movies. Why in certain films a villain will slip up really badly in saying something?
Oh yeah,
because he gives himself away to the girl Hannah. He's like, yeah, she went to her apartment, and she goes, how did you know? And he's like, hamana, 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 hamana. Woo, 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 woo. He starts running in a circle.
It's like Michael Bluth when he slips up with George Michael. Let's not say though.
Oh, in the finale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's a little thing, but it's a good. I liked the film. I thought it was good. What did you think about the finale? Because the finale is different from the original, when the girl survives in the original film. In this one, they make it really hardcore, and these women can't run.
I was rooting for her to win, but then I was happy with it.
Yeah, I was okay with it. Like, the women can't run away fast enough from this fucking guy, and nobody's listening out of their windows to people yelling at the top of their lungs.
This is how I see it. If you can't run away from a guy who's been stabbed in the stomach, stabbed through the hand, hit by a car, and beaten with a bat, then you deserve to die.
I guess that's why. I guess that's why he's a maniac. You know the original song, Maniac? That song was actually written for the original film, but they decided to use it for Flashdance instead. Can you imagine that?
Is that real?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's what the IMDb says, at least. But yeah, I think the original ending where he actually does get stabbed and he's getting delirious because I guess for whatever reason maybe he's getting shock or something.
Right.
And it's basically the same ending as this.
I mean, I'm assuming that the scene where it shows all of the women kill him, he's probably doing that to himself.
No, he's just freaking out. He's not actually pulling his organs out or anything like that, because in the original one he's doing the same thing. He's getting like slashed and hacked by these all the women that he killed earlier in the film. He's put their scalps on mannequins, and they decide to enact their revenge in his mind because of his guilt, I guess. And that happens in this one too.
What's it called? Locks for Love or whatever. He actually started that company.
He's pretending that he had the cancer. That's what it was. And which I got confused by the end, because there was a part where he freaks out in the middle and he sees himself as a mannequin with no genitals, because I guess that's supposed to be a sexual thing. And in this one,
it's ode to Marilyn Manson.
When they tear his face off in this one, it's a mannequin's face. I thought it was they ripped off the skin off of his face and that was musculature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's just a mannequin face. But I couldn't get that because it was too rubbery.
It was really creepy looking.
It was, and they have a much more clearer ending in this one as opposed to the original, where he kind of, just dies. And this one, he's dead too, but he has his eyes closed, so you'd figured maybe they might do a sequel. But I think it's a nice and neat kind of.
Yeah, it's very straightforward and cute and compact and good.
It's pretty horrifying. It's really violent. It's brutal. It's not. It will make you feel dirty watching it. I think if you're a woman or if you're a guy
and sexy at the same time.
I can understand women watching this film and being like, "What the fuck?" Like being very creepy, because it's a male-dominated POV kind of thing going on, and you're just like, "Ugh." You're watching and you.
Or is it? Because then it shows his crotch and it's a mannequin crotch.
That's true.
Maybe he's a eunuch.
Maybe the woman fraught against him. You know what frottage is?
No.
When a woman rubs her genitals against a desk table or a side of a table into orgasm. So maybe they're doing that with him.
Real thing?
People masturbate in a lot of ways. So anyway, okay. So
they cut out the scene where he gets the ring.
Yeah.
Goes to Mount Doom.
And then some guy bites his finger off, and he falls into a lava pit. It's
falls
pretty insane.
Into lava, yeah.
Anyway, and then
carry him to safety.
Gandalf comes to get him. The Hawks don't help him until the end, when they could have done it in the beginning and dropped a ring into the.
Sauron gets an eye booger.
Yeah. So what were the weak parts of the film for you?
There were a couple of anticlimactic deaths that I was hoping would be a little better.
Okay.
And it was a little slow moving, which is always my issue. But considering it was an hour and 20 minutes or something, I think they could have cut it even shorter. But that's probably why it was so short, because they realized there's not that much to go with.
This film is more of watching it in the theater, you think, right?
It would be cool in the theater, yeah, to see that on a big screen.
Did your friends like it?
Definitely, visually cool. What?
Did your friends like it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think pretty much the same thing. I think it moves a little bit slow on some aspects. I think the violence is pretty cool. It's very unsettling film. The soundtrack is pretty awesome.
And I'm not into when it gets tunnel visiony, that effect, whatever they're doing. Right? Yeah, I mean it's okay, but I don't know.
But I think it's a solid little film. I'd give it a almost an 8, like a 7, 8.
7 or 8 what? What's your rating?
7 or 8. Looking into a mirror and seeing that your genitals have been turned into male Ken doll genitals, or the lack thereof.
Okay. I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it an 8. No, I always give 8s,
Yeah,
and I
I
always
think
say
it
that
is.
too. I'm gonna give it an 8.1.
Whoa.
8.1. Um, seeing your mommy be a whore and
yeah.
being so affected by that, so very, very affected.
That lady was getting banged against that wall, wasn't he? Ooh,
It was
five.
kind of hard. I would have joined in if I were him.
Behind the guy. All right, so Danny, what's the final word?
Fatocious.